Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. Feels like it's been forever. It's only been a week. Um, Sorry about last week, you guys. I was going through some things, so I needed a break. But everybody needs a break. I want to thank you, welcome you to tonight's episode. It's going to be a really interesting conversation I haven't quite had yet. But first, I would like to thank all of my Tea Time with Bunky subscribers and followers. Those that have been riding this wave with me for over a year. I still can't believe it, y'all. It's been over a year. Um, where we have had conversations about everything. Tea Time with Bunky, where every conversation is had. Conversations about racism, work, music, clothing, you name it, we talk about it here on Tea Time with Bunky. I would like to thank um the misters in the rec studio catch and wreck. They support me. They have been supporting me, holding me down from day one. My other fellow podcasters, Too Humble, which will be here next week. um Talk about it podcast. um this Thank you. This conversation tonight is with a young lady that I've had the pleasure of knowing for many years. um She's located, she'll correct me if I'm wrong, in South Carolina, and she has been doing big things. Now, this conversation, I'm sure there's going to be some things that I might say that might throw her. I don't know. I don't know. It might not. Um, but she is here for it. She is here for it. So without further ado, wait, let me remove this. Allysen, wait,
I'm
before
fixing my camera. There we go.
okay. That music change right now is by gospel artist Major. His name is Major, and it's featuring Amber Riley, which I thought was very appropriate for this show. Let me change. Change is gonna come. Yeah, wait. While I'm doing this, changing stuff, Allysen,
Hi.
thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. You just don't know, and we'll get into all of that as our conversation goes. But tell the people a little bit about you. Like I told them, I've known you for
Like,
years.
yeah, since kindergarten, probably.
Oh,
So I was born in upstate New York, Sullivan County, and basically we went to elementary school and middle school together. I lived in Hurleyville. Shout out to my Hurleyville peeps.
shout out to Hurleyville.
And my mom got remarried when we were going into ninth grade, so I moved to Monticello High School, and we moved, and I lived there. And after high school, I graduated early. I had a child in high school, and I graduated a little early, and moved to Baltimore, Maryland, where I lived for about 8 years, and now I am in South Carolina. The name of my town is Central, but we're not in the central part of the state. We are in the upstate of South Carolina. So I moved from the upstate of New York to the upstate of South Carolina.
Which I am sure is extremely different. South Carolina. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Because we talked about growing up here, Sullivan County in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
And you talked about the bubble we
Yeah.
were in.
Yeah. I think it was a huge bubble. I don't know. I'm so thankful that I grew up there and that
Mhm.
I went through the 70s and 80s with everyone else that was there, because I don't, I just have to say that I don't know if I really thought about treating people the way that I have seen people be treated outside of that area. Now, of course, I don't live there, and it's 20 something years later, and it may be that way there now. But the bubble of the 70s and 80s was really, I think, like, I don't know about you, but I thought, "Oh, okay, we're done with this race conversation. We don't have to have it anymore. We're fixed. All these people are my friends." I mean, I grew up with everyone, just like
Right.
wasn't a big deal, you know,
Right.
and my
Yeah.
parents never made it a big deal, thankfully. But I
Mhm.
do think it's a bubble because I've watched and talked to other people since I've moved to different places, and they did not have the same experience necessarily that I did. But to me, I got to experience a little bit of everything. You know,
Right.
I grew up as a Christian, but I had 5 million Jewish friends and went to all
Mhm.
the things. You know, melanin. I hate that we use racial
Mhm.
classifications, but I had plenty of friends that were black, white, never meant anything to me that they had different colors, none of those things. And then I went away and things were a little different.
You know, I heard that from my son,
Mhm.
growing up here, and and it's crazy because my father says it, that he appreciates being here at one point because it taught him how to interact with everyone. Because
Mhm.
we really did grow up with everybody.
Yep.
Fallsburg School was everybody. Sullivan County was everybody. But I, like you, I didn't see the difference. I didn't see it. Um, I, I told a story in the beginning of the tea time history where I felt the difference for the first time in second grade, where a teacher made it a teacher, and that's when I was a little standoffish. But I never I never felt it. So yeah, we were in a bubble.
Yeah.
My son said when he went away to Troy from Fallsburg, when he went away to school in Troy, that's when
Mhm.
he felt it for the first time.
That is probably when I mean, I knew it was there, but I noticed it when I went away to college. And I went to college in Troy.
Oh, that
So,
oh wow, I yeah, some of the things he went through were pretty treacherous.
yeah.
Pretty treacherous down there. But thank God for Sullivan County. Yeah, you're a part of the Black Lives Collective.
Yes. So, one of the things I've done as an activist locally is when George Floyd was murdered, my daughter and I went out and had a protest in town. And I live in a very, very tiny little, one stoplight and you're out of the town here. And we went ahead and started protesting, and we just had all these other people that stopped. It was really nice. And of course, we got a lot of not niceness as well. People asking, yelling things and stuff. But it was very nice because I really was able to make all these friends in town that I never knew were here because I thought I was the only person that wasn't kind of a little crazy in town. As far as the white people go. But I met a whole bunch of people, and basically what we decided was after we stood on the street together for 8 days, that it was time to do something. Because if there was that many
Wow.
people, we needed. You can't do anything. You can't make change unless you actually do something. And so we started just meeting at my house, and just taking on different things that have come up in town,
Hmm.
um, providing our lack of melanin sometimes to other members of Black Lives Collective. But yes, we started that as a group, and there's about 5 or 6 of us that were co-founders of it that all got together,
Hmm.
and we've worked on a couple different things in town. One is we have a property dispute in South Carolina. There's not a lot of property laws, so it's really left to a lot of legal stuff. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, the people that get left behind in that are the people that can't afford legal fees. And we have some neighbors in town that we've been helping to deal with this property dispute issue.
When I asked you to be on, you said it once, and then I brought it to your remembrance because you said it again. And that makes it more real to me that what you're saying, not that I doubted you, of course, but I'm like, she is really about this. Because when I talked to you about it, you said, it's not about me, it's about the movement.
Exactly. And I don't ever want to be like I'm not. Yeah, I think it's really cool that some of the stuff I'm doing is getting written up in the paper here and we're getting on the news and things, but not because of me. I
Right.
want it to be because we're educating, we're helping, we as a group of people together are doing it.
Hmm.
And I think it's really important for white people to step back, to not be the spotlight. Anything I say here tonight is from my perspective and from the reading I've done, and I'm 100% correctable. So if I say something I shouldn't say, please let me know because I
Right.
do work towards that. But yeah, I mean, it's just I don't want anyone to be like, "Oh, Allison's a great person," because that's not what this is about. This is
But you
about
are.
all of us. Well, I can be a good person without
Yeah.
it having to be about,
Right.
me doing it.
Right.
So,
And you made that totally clear to me. You made it clear this isn't about me. It's
mhm,
about the movement. And I'm in awe because I was watching you. I was watching you during when everything started and when the COVID, George Floyd, all of this, because we were all home. We had nothing to do.
that's right.
Throughout that time, we were able to weed out people we wanted to deal with and people we didn't want to deal with by
Mhm,
just a post on Instagram or Facebook.
that's right.
And I was watching you. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, wait a minute, And I was like, Allison? Like, and it's not that I would have, like to say, I would have never guessed or because in school, like we mentioned, and people that know me, know that I am like terribly shy. I was terribly shy. So I
Mhm,
never really interacted with people. So I really didn't know. I knew everybody, but I was too afraid to like jump in like a Regina,
yeah.
like that, But yeah, I was so impressed and in awe. Watch you put up pictures of artwork.
Mhm,
You did everything. You left no stone unturned. You were calling people out. I'm like,
yep,
oh my. Now how does that feel though, being on the opposite side? Because this is what I meant when I said I never had that conversation with anybody on the opposite side. I can hear the black perspective all day long, all night long. But to have a conversation with a friend, what
yeah.
is that like? What is that?
It's hard sometimes, but not really for me anymore. I've been really, really vocal most of my adult life when it comes to anyone who's not being cared for, taken care of,
Mhm.
the underdog. I'm a pediatric nurse, so
And we're going to talk about that.
yeah, I'll talk. Boy, the healthcare system. But yeah, I mean, I really have just always felt like if I have, and I didn't know the word privilege, but if I have some kind of extra special power in this world, then I'm going to use it for the powers of good.
Mhm.
And I have a biracial daughter. Regina McKenney's my was my
Yes.
first friend. You guys are all
Shout out to Regina. Oh, you froze. Oh, wait a minute. Guys, let me know if you see me
and it's
live.
just how
There you
could
go.
you
Okay.
not? There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
It was hard and it is hard sometimes, but I don't really care. I don't care.
right.
If I get my feelings hurt, oh well. It's for the betterment of all of us that we stop putting each other in little boxes for everything and just love each other, because if we don't take care of each other, who
Right.
else is going to do it? Because like it or not, the government isn't doing it, and I don't see the churches in America doing it, and it's just we need to take care of each other.
I'm going to get in trouble for this. I know it, but it's okay because you hit it. You just said the churches aren't doing this. I spoke about that. Like, where are you right now? Like right now when we need you the most.
That's right.
So, but we're not going to go off on that because I don't want to get slaughtered. But really, it's like, where are you right now? And if we don't have each other, you know, black people can't do it by themselves. I don't care how y'all may come for me, but I don't care how much you think you can. You need a group, a collective group. You need allies. You need Allisons, really.
You
And
do.
like
You
you
and you
do.
have to, and you help each other. I call it
Oh, she froze again. I don't know if it's keywords or what that she, wait, she went out.
friend who's a teacher.
Wait, could you go back? Who you froze? You guys, she's in South Carolina. Not saying that their service is bad, but it could be mine. She'll be back on. You guys join in. Make sure you join in. She froze. I don't know. She's gonna be so mad. She's gonna be yes, Sister D, because that word don't want to be put out there that they're not where they're supposed they weren't there. They weren't there. It was limited. There was a certain amount. There was a she's probably gonna come back on. There was a certain amount of people that we saw, certain churches that we saw that came out and address the feelings of the people that were going through all of this, um, which isn't fair because once everything opens back up or open back up, they expect everybody to run and support them. So yeah, I guess there's a reason why that came up, and that wasn't even in our discussion. And me bringing Allysen on, just let me say, me bringing Allysen on was to show that there are people out there that don't look like me, that I can have a conversation with, that are out there fighting harder than I am. And when Allysen joins back in, when she gets back in, she was telling me yesterday that or the day before yesterday that they were having problems with their internet. I'm just texting her. Her being there's newspaper articles. I had put her Instagram username up there. So if you guys want to, you can go for the internet people. You can go up there and follow her on Instagram, and you can see that. What is her name on Instagram? Allysen Lynn. I think it's Allysen Lynn. Yes, Allysen Lynn, right here, Allysen Lynn. You can go follow her on Instagram, and you can see what she's talking about the newspaper articles, about the she's trying to get back on. She got booted out. The newspaper articles, the television reports and different things because she's in okay, I just went through a storm. It has to be hard for someone like her being in South Carolina. Um, I couldn't imagine it. Honestly, I don't even want to go visit there. I don't I can't even see me being there to visit. But you have somebody like Allysen and her group, the um the Black Lives Collective, which a picture of them is on her page. All of that will come up and you'll see what Allysen is really truly about. Um, she is truly a young lady. Young lady, we're the same age. Truly a young lady that has a lot of heart because it takes a lot of heart, I feel, to go out there and do what she's doing, knowing that she's probably walking around with a bullseye on her back for speaking out. Speaking out takes a lot of courage. Takes a lot of courage. She's going to talk about her being a nurse. So that's for those that didn't see it. I talk about it all the time. The Color of Care is not a series, uh, television event that Oprah Winfrey hosted. It's called The Color of Care, and it talks about the medical differentiation, how it's different for people of color versus non-people of color. Um, And I don't even know. And she worked with pediatrics, so I don't even know how the children were treated, which I'm sure there was a difference. And Allysen being Allysen, she called it out, and she's going to talk about that. Look, I'm talking about everything she's going to talk about. Um, I told her that I was going to probably say some things that would shock her, which since she's not on, I'll talk about it to free up some time. I told her, and like I said, I've mentioned it before about the moment I felt different. The only time I really felt different in Sullivan County was when my teacher, let me see if she can call in, my second grade teacher at that, they had a thunderstorm and lost power. Um, I'm going to see if I can call her and we have this conversation via telephone. If I can get this music off. This is odd. See, this conversation just doesn't seem to want to be had. Wait, let's see. Hi. Hello? Nope, I lost her. Oh man, this stinks. This is the worst. I feel so bad, and I know she does too. But yeah, and it's not linking to there. But oh well. Well, as long as she's down south there in the middle of a bad storm. She lost service. So we're gonna have to reschedule this. But just so you know, the thing she was talking about the they are working with Shaw Center Housing in Central South Carolina. So please wait. Here she goes. Here she goes.
Hi.
I was trying to fill it.
Now running Wi-Fi off of my phone, so I hope that this works.
Oh my! It's good. Look, I told them we would have to reschedule. I was like, this conversation just somebody doesn't want this conversation to be had.
Exactly. And I'm sorry for the weird lighting, but the laptop's a little different.
Look, it's fine.
No, so if you guys can hear me, everything we'll do it.
Totally fine. You're totally good.
Okay.
Actually, you're not freezing at all. Your service is clearer. Actually. Oh, look, I said that, and there you go.
Oh no.
Wait. Okay, so while I have you, let's, because I don't want nothing to go out. Let me ask you, how did your family respond to seeing you going out there in the front like that? How did your family respond to that?
Well, my
probably mixed.
My mom is always worried about somebody getting hurt in the family. So of course, you know, that was her initial response is don't get hurt. My sister and her family were very like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do something too. My brother, he lives in Baltimore, so he didn't go out and do anything because it's a little intense there sometimes. As I'm sure everyone knows, for very good reasons. But yeah, I have to tell you, mostly my family just thinks they just think, you know, hey, there goes Allysen again. Talking about race. Why is she always doing? Okay, Allysen, yes, we shouldn't say that. I mean, I can't tell you, I'm terrible. Like, and one of my good friends said to me, I'm really glad to know it's not just me that you do that for. And I'm, what do you mean? And she said, I've seen you and heard you do that to your husband, to your kids. And I'm like, yeah, because I think all of us need, if you don't know you're doing it, you can't make the change. And the honest truth for all the white people out there, if any of you are on here listening or watch this, is it is our responsibility to learn about this thing called race because it's not been taught to us in schools. We don't have a truth about what our country was created for and on and of. And, you know, we really need to explore that and understand that it's not about like me. Yes, I have things that I need to correct, but I work on those things just like I would with anything else, you know, in a relationship. relationship with people. And so until you get out there and actually do the work and think about it, you're just as lost and stuck as anybody else, because you don't realize how much race affects everything you do every day.
That right there, you don't know how powerful that right there was. Look, I'm getting emotional. Because it does. And for people like me who lived in this bubble, right? Oh my God, my eyes are burning. Who lived in this bubble and didn't realize how serious this race thing is. I grew up hearing my family talk about it, my grandmother and everybody, right? But you think, like you said, you think we outgrew it, like it went away, it's done. And so to be in a situation and experience it, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe you did this to me, Allysen. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Careful, so.
I'm sorry. To be where at this stage in my life, a grown woman, a grandmother, for crying out loud, and to for the first time in my life experience the fullness of racism.
Yeah.
And how it impacts, like you said, your life,
it's everything,
part of you. And when you think you can erase it on, oh my God, I'm going to kill you. When you think you can erase it on one part or another part, it'll creep in another subtle way.
It does.
So, right, if you don't know better, you can't do better. But once you know and you're aware, there is no excuse. You can't say, oh, well, I didn't know. I didn't know it affected you like that.
That's right.
I heard something today, because it blows my mind how people react to our hair, right? Our hair is our hair.
Yeah.
Someone told, look, I'm not going into it. Someone told someone, oh, well, one day your hair is long and the next day your hair is short. Basically, what's up with your hair? It was an older white woman said this to a Black woman. Why would you do that? That's just like, oh, can I touch it?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, if you don't get away from me, it's like.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want anyone to touch my hair either. Right. So, what makes people think it's okay especially for Black women,
right?
There's ownership over your body or something. Like, you don't have the right. I mean, all women are experiencing that right now in America. Wake up. But
it's crazy.
It is crazy, but it's been like that for you forever. For Black women forever. We've objectified you and turned you into just stuff.
Experiments. We were experiments.
Oh, I hate it. And and hair is such a stupid thing, because I have to tell you, for white people to be dumb about, because I don't really this is the first time I've had long hair in my life. I got it during COVID.
Yeah, it used to be
short, real short. Yep.
Yeah, sure.
And most I ever had it was like here, but with COVID I did it. And I have now gone into the salons and stuff and watched, now that COVID is over, because I'm trying to maintain it. I'm like, I've never had it. The amount of stuff that white girls do to their hair, and they have no clue that they're mimicking Black women's hair. It's insane to me. But I also realize every day that if you aren't exposed and you don't try, if nobody says to you, hey, where did this weave come? Where did this come from? Where's the history? Where did that food come from? How come we say that word? And it's about time that you started thinking about those things, because if you don't like it when somebody as a woman says bitch, excuse my language, but then you should be watching a lot of what you say, because lots of things that come people's mouths that they don't realize that is just as offensive. And it seems like it's just normal, but it's not.
Right. It's not. Well, you know what? That's the problem. It's become normalized.
Mm-hmm.
They're just so, it's just like, so and then, why are you offended? And then they get upset, like shocked. Why? Like, why are you offended?
Exactly.
Like, what? Yeah, like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to lighten it up a little bit because I don't think my heart can take this.
Okay.
Your artwork. Now, what you did. We're going to talk about you with the nursing because let's talk about the nursing. When you left nursing and you did something that bugged me out, that I asked you if your husband was okay with, but you might have forgot. But okay, you were a nurse.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what I right out of I went to college and became a nurse and went to work in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins Hospital and specialized in pediatrics. So I got to do some really cool stuff because if anybody out there is going into healthcare, go work at a big teaching hospital because you get to do some really cool things. But when I moved to South Carolina, kind of that shifted in the sense of I was used to working in a big teaching hospital, so I did not translate well to the hospitals here because I am used to working as a team. And so that's kind of why I wanted to make sure, that I could continue to do that after I moved here. And at first it was not, I'm sorry, my battery's keeping us connected. So I'm moving it over to the plug. Um, I went into home health, and home health is a lot like what I'm doing now in the sense of it's not just taking care of the kids, it's taking care of the community that you're in and everything else. And I just love the communities that I worked in home health in Baltimore and here in South Carolina, the people and everything. So I did start to see much more in the workplace than I noticed with my coworkers. Some of the issues with race for sure. In particular, kind of talking down to other professionals that were Black. And I didn't allow that when I ran the program at the end of being there, I did not allow that on my watch. I was like, no, no, no. Everybody's valid. But as far as healthcare goes, I didn't know anything about Henrietta Lacks. I don't know if you know about Henrietta Lacks, but she is from Baltimore, and we basically did medical experiments.
Yeah.
Things,
they used her cells.
That's right. We stole her cells,
and her family knew nothing about it.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, I worked there for 8 years, and I have to tell you, I thought it was the best place in the universe, and all these wonderful things. And then you start to learn that history is everywhere.
Yes.
It's built into the systems in our everything,
It's built into the fibers of our country.
It is.
That's how this country was built. And for people that say that it doesn't, get over it, it doesn't exist because you're not on the opposite side of the coin. So it doesn't affect your life.
Right.
It should not be going on in 2022. This is ridiculous. But it seems as if it's wider.
I think,
or maybe it's just open more.
It's allowed. It's allowed, I think, is really what it is. I don't want to be super political, but I hate Donald Trump. And
oh my God, you're going to get me thrown off. Okay.
But I do believe that voices like his are unfortunate because they allow and give voice to things that should not be allowed to
and
be.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep. Exactly.
It gave people a pass to openly hate.
To openly do and say and act like they are the ones who are being.
Yeah, they're the victims.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's a little crazy. It's a lot of
That's
crazy.
what happened to your home county. It's a hot mess. It's a girl. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking because I'm like, this,
It's heartbreaking here. I mean, I told my
I couldn't go there. I'm sorry.
it's terrible
Mm-mm.
here, and I have some of my best friends in the world are here. Rosa Graydon, I helped her. She decided to run for mayor, so I ran her campaign. I work with her. She asked me to be on a board of the Shaw Center, which is helping with historical Black neighborhoods in the town next door, which is in Clemson. And we help people that have always owned their homes, but
Mm-hmm.
been able to always keep up with the things that need to be done, just because like it or not, all of that is built into the systems, whether or not you can get loans, whether or not you have the right
Absolutely.
income, whether or not you can, any of those things.
Yes.
Well, so I'm very blessed for the people around me. Edith Williams, oh my gosh, I love her. All these people in town that I just absolutely would hate to not be around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very hard to live here. And I have to remember my friend Gelly, he's one of the people on Black Lives Collective with us. And Gelly said to me, he said, because I talked about moving if Donald Trump won the second term.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically said, we can move, but our Black friends and family cannot always pick up and move. And he said, so what are you going
Wow.
to do?
He's right.
Yeah, he
Wow.
is. So I'm here. I'm here for the long haul. So
Are you ever afraid? Like, I'm sure during when all of this started again, right? When all this started and your voice became heard, I'm sure people threatened, like came at you. I'm sure because they came at me. So I
yeah.
can only imagine what you went through. Like, are you ever afraid?
I maybe should be, but why? Because
Right? Yeah, you can't live your life in fear.
I've told you this already. Is that you walk out the door and you're automatically a target. You
Right.
don't even have to leave your house. You could be
No.
asleep in bed and they
You're
can shoot you through the wall and
yes.
you're at fault. And
Right.
so am I afraid? I'm really not, because I have to tell you that I have the privilege to walk around safe, I'm not. I'm going to walk around with my shirts on and my loud voice, and you're going to know. You're going to come past my house. I have a whole hill of Black Lives Matter signs, and everybody, they get stolen, and I put them up. And they drive past and they honk their horn and yell obscenities at my yard,
Wow.
and it's okay with me because I
Right.
just have a nice day. So am I afraid? Not really, because honestly, we're all in this. And we're in a country where you can get killed at the drop of a hat.
Right.
So, yeah. But I say, and I'm still gonna hold to this, if I ever get hurt, martyr me to death for that.
But you're
Because
not gonna get hurt.
I'm
You're
not.
gonna get
To
hurt.
me, it's more important for the movement. And that's exactly what I mean. Is
Right.
that I want my grandkids and my niece and my nephew and all of those people in my life to be able to have a different world, the world that I thought we were going to have when I was living in Sullivan County.
Right. Now, I mentioned you doing something that you had to get approval from your husband for. It bugged me out that you did this. Tell the people what happened in your. I mean, I think it's really cool, but I think it's really. I'm like, you really did all of that.
Well, I did, and but I think that's part of it. So this is the big thing I think that the white people can do first, instead of worrying about, hey, I need to be like Allysen and go be in these groups and do these things. That may not be what you can do.
Right.
So what you can do is you can put your money behind your thought process. And so what I try to do is I buy everything Black. And in particular, if it's a Black woman, it gets purchased over even a Black male, not because of anything other than you have to support and I don't mean this in a negative way, but in the Bible, the least of those in your community.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means to me is not that you're least. It means that we all trampled over you on the way to get our prize.
Right. Stole our cells, research cancer and stuff. Yeah.
So we made a big move, and I have Anything new that I have replaced in my house, which has been a lot in the last couple years, is either bought from a person of color or a female, in particular Black females. My husband is an artist originally, and so we collect art. And so we moved all of the focus of our art to, I'm trying to get it, Black artists. So there's a whole bunch of artists here in the house. This is my big piece from my niece. So we moved even that focus. So that's, everything that I have, all the coffee I drink, anything I try to buy at the store. I don't look for store items. The first thing I do is look and see if I can find a Black owned company that has it. So toilet paper, hair care, all of that. Like I said, I'll even go on like Etsy and places like that and look for Black owned shops when I need clothes, stuff like that. So I think that that's what people need to understand is, first of all, you need to put your money where it belongs, which is historically been geared towards white people and particularly white males. And I've said this before, but I'm not giving any more of my money to white men unless I absolutely have no other choice. But I do believe that supporting the Black economy in our country, because of what our country is based on, is the first and most important step after recognizing that you do have a race problem, even if you don't think you do.
Wow, thank you, Allysen. I mean, you are doing, like, you educated me on some of the artists you was talking about, this one and that one. I'm like, I have no idea, but but I'm not in that position to like redo my house and
that's not at all. But
no, but it's amazing because you are really for it. Like you're not just talking it.
Yeah, you got to live it. You got to just make it easy, make it part of your day. I mean, I didn't realize that I wasn't allowing Black women to speak sometimes in situations that I thought, oh, I'm really good at this. And my friend Rosa told me to do something about 3 or 4 times in a meeting, and I kept not doing it, kept doing the other thing because whatever. I didn't realize I was doing that. And she said something to me. She goes, "That's okay. You guys don't usually listen to us right away anyway." And I thought, oh
wow,
I'm doing it. And I immediately internalized that and apologized to her in front of everyone. And I've made a big effort of trying not to do that, because I am very talkative and can talk over everyone. So I'm very, of course, cautious not to do that. Those things are important, and it's important for me to hear that and not get, like, I was taken aback, but not because of her, because I had to think about it.
You didn't realize that you were doing it.
That's right.
Yeah, you were unaware. Wow, that must have been hard. But you took it and learned from it, and just.
That's what you got to do. I mean, gosh, maybe it takes to be 50-ish before you realize that, but
I think so.
But
shout out to 50-ish.
Stuff. I mean, come on. You're just going to run around being a hot mess your whole life, a 2-year-old toddler,
And that doesn't just go, we all, because I'm going to take some accountability for myself too. It's not all about race either, because like there was a certain word I used to use all the time, and people that know me know I don't curse. I don't use profanity. That's not me. But you can say words in a tone that's like, people like, well, Bunky, you might as well just curse already, because but I'm like, no, that's not me. Da 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 da. But there was this word, and I'm not going to say it, because now, since all of this happened, I had to sit back and evaluate me, but because I'm saying, wait a minute, but I'm not using it in that term, I'm not using it. But they're like, no, it's still a hurtful word for somebody else who it may have been used towards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm so conscious and aware of it that I'm like, wow, it's easy for me to replace that word with the same energy. same energy that's not hurtful to anyone, but you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's all
Kendrick
about being.
Lamar has that on his new album. Kendrick Lamar has a song about his cousin and his aunt, and he basically talks about that. He says, if I don't want you to use the N word, then we shouldn't be using the F word towards homosexuals.
That was Allysen. That was the word. And everybody knew me knew that I didn't say it to hurt,
Right. And that's what he says too.
Right. But then now that when I became aware, and then I thought about my friends and the ones that I love, like, wow, this could really be hurting them, but they didn't tell me that it's hurting them. That's right. So I had to check myself. And so now I'm conscious and I'm aware, and like that's just like calling somebody with a disability the R word. I get mad. Those are like fighting words. Yeah. So it's the same thing. Any offensive word it's all the same.
It is.
It's hurt is hurt. Like, so, wow, it's crazy. You didn't even know that was a word. That was the word. I would use it.
Yeah, well,
if I was angry at a person, I would describe a person. And I don't do that anymore. I would not dare do that anymore.
Yeah, it's learning. It's learning.
It's living and learning. Now, okay, it's 7:50. What? let me ask you a question. Because you worked in, and you still work in the healthcare field. And I was talking about, I don't know if you saw it. It was something Oprah Winfrey did called The Color of Care. Did you see that?
Yes, and I totally.
Oh my God.
It's so true, and it's not okay. And I've actually noticed it more dealing with adults, and it probably was there with children, and I was blind to it. So basically, yes, he does have a website. I'll send it to you. Actually, I'll give you guys the collection website so you can see the whole collection and who's represented, and his work's on there too. But I'll put it in the chat and the comments in a minute. But basically, sorry, I got all distracted with the art. Yes, I do think it happens a lot. And I've seen it more particular with friends of mine more recently. I have a very good friend, Rosa, mentioned her, and she is the most wonderful human being I've ever met in my life. And she's went in to get some pain medicine because she has a back surgery.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And they basically acted like she was, drug seeking.
Yep.
He has like the most messed up back. I can't tell you. I've seen the MRI.
Like, look, I'm there. I couldn't walk last week.
And I'm just like, what are you talking about? So they piss tested her. They made her do a test.
No, they did not.
They did. So I had to go and straighten that out because I wasn't pleased with that. So yes. We apparently, all of us healthcare workers are just as terrible, guys. I tried really hard not to be that person, and I hope I wasn't. And if I've ever treated you that way for anything, please know that I am correctable. But we've got to change our system. We have to.
Yes.
It's in the schools. It's in law enforcement. It's in healthcare. It's everywhere. The banks. I mean, everywhere. And if we don't work on it, we're all going to end up in the dumpster because as a country, you cannot succeed if you don't, all of you, go along with it.
My God. I'm still in awe about that, making her get drug tested before she get treatment for her back. Now, you need your back. As I'm getting older and have all these serious back, you need your back to do everything. And I know when I went last week, I had to go to urgent care, you get the shot and all that crazy stuff. They offered me muscle relaxers. I'm like, what do I need this for? I don't need this. That was I'm like, all it's going to do is make me sleepy. I don't need it, But when I talked to my doctor because I had to go back because it got worse after the shot. It got worse. Um, she told me that I needed the muscle relaxers because, and she's touching me. Now, my doctor, I have an African American doctor. She's the one that got my blood pressure right. She got everything right because she knows how the medication works for our bodies.
Right.
You know,
that's the other problem.
Right.
We
the
don't
absorption.
That. That's
right.
right.
It works totally different. And she's feeling me. She's like, you should have gotten it because she said it would loosen all this up. And she's like, you're so tight right now. And I'm like, okay. She said, so you could have avoided. I probably could have avoided 3 days of unnecessary extra pain if I had seen my doctor. But the original doctor I went to, urgent care, I said, okay, I know I need the shot. Who wants a shot? But you get the lower shot. But that's it. They didn't offer me any. They offered me like strong ibuprofen for my back. They didn't offer me. Now, I'm telling you, my level is at a 9. Because I have a high pain tolerance because I've been dealing with this for almost 20 years now. So for somebody else, it would have been off the charts. But I'm telling you, it's a 9, and you offer me strong ibuprofen. Someone who
why did we create the pain scale if we're not going to follow it?
I have no idea.
Double decide. Oh, wait a minute. She doesn't really need it. It's just, it's not. It's It's all there. We just you just look. And I think that what happens is a lot of people think white privilege means white people have more money and things than other people. And yes, by default, perhaps because of the system, but that's not really means. It just means that I don't have the same disadvantages when I go to do things that you have. And I've had a lot of advantages because my family is white and they have lived here in this country long enough to get all the generational wealth and everything. Just having a parent that I could call.
You better talk about it.
Yeah. It's crazy. I texted you, or I put it in the private chat though.
Yeah. I put it on the big one. Do you mind?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah. I just copied and pasted right there. So
yeah, that's the art. If you guys want to look at the art, and you can follow me on Instagram. It's the only social media I do, really. If you want.
It is. So I shared it on Facebook. I put your name, Allysen Lynn, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Girl, you just okay. I enjoyed this, and I told you I was going to give you the last 5 minutes to talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. But I just wanted to let you know that how much I enjoyed this conversation with you.
Thank you.
You messed around and got me emotional, which was not planned. You caught me off guard with that. You caught me off guard with that thing. But I guess, when you talk about race, when you talk about it, if you've experienced it, like really experienced it, and it catches you off guard, it shatters your whole being. It really does. And so I'm gonna let you talk.
All right. Yes. I want to talk about the big project I'm working on because I want it to get, like, if there's any chance that anybody hears this and you can help us, please call me. I am working with, I'm trying to get my camera. There we go. I am working with a group in my town called Naturally Occurring Affordable Housing. And this is another committee that I'm on, belong to 3 of them. And the historic Black neighborhood in our town is for sale because it was owned by white family, but they rented it out historically.
Wait, real quick. The town is for sale?
Just that neighborhood, but the entire neighborhood basically was for sale.
It's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, because now property's big money here. So because everybody's moving, out of the cities. And so it's for sale. And we are trying to develop it affordably. We took it to the town and asked them to buy it. They said no. So we found a buyer, and we have a big developer who develops affordably who's going to buy it if he can get the tax credits in our state to develop it affordably. And the idea is that the families that live there currently could buy and own their own homes, which would create generational wealth. And then those that can't afford to do that would end up, there are going to be rentals. And this developer never sells the affordable housing to somebody else, because a lot of times what happens is it gets sold and then turned into not affordable housing. So this would be a guarantee for our town to have affordable housing and create generational Black wealth in our town. And we just need anybody who's got political ties out there in South Carolina right now. That's what I'm talking about. But if you can influence it anywhere, please, we are trying to get those state tax credits so that they can actually purchase this and move on. I'm hoping if we do, we'll get to see lots of community things going on in that community. So
that is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's, yeah, for people that are in South Carolina. If I have any I don't know if I have any South Carolina.
It doesn't matter. Maybe somebody knows somebody.
You know, eventually somebody will see it. Mm-hmm. Eventually somebody will see it. And hopefully, you know, they can reach out to, like, I'm telling you guys, go to her Instagram page and follow her. And you'll know everything she's talking about, what's going on. Allysen, but when we end this, I don't want you to go anywhere. But I just want, oh my God, I appreciate you so much. You're going to have to do a follow-up.
Okay.
So that we can know, like, what is going on, you know, how it's going down there. I need you to stay safe.
I will.
Because
you guys just pray for me, because that's what I believe is that this is something, my mission from God, and He will protect me for what I need to. So just pray.
Yeah, yes, He will. Girl, yes, He will. He will. That's your mission. My mission is to talk about it, you know, and together we can, you know, make it be known, and we can, you know, one comment at a time together. Weren't you a cheerleader too? Weren't you a cheerleader?
No. No.
Okay, so look, I'm trying to make everybody a cheerleader. Okay.
I don't like anybody to know me. So
oh. All right. You guys, thank you so much. Thank you for staying on throughout the technical difficulties. Next week, I have Anthony from Too Humble Productions coming on. He is the founder of the Too Humble Productions podcasts and other things he's doing. It's like rap, hip hoppy. This young man is he's amazing. Like, his dream, his vision. It's amazing. So you guys, make sure you tune in next Thursday. I have the flyer out. We'll talk about that more. I have some amazing shows coming up and in the works. Some people you won't believe are coming on. You know, look at God, won't He do it? So you guys continue to follow. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow Miss Allysen Lynn on Instagram. Her husband's art collection is on the chat, www.qmartcollection.com, and go look at some of that beautiful art she was talking about. And go out there and make a difference. Make a conscious effort to change your negative behaviors that you don't realize is negative. It is not just affecting the Black community, but it's affecting every community that you love. Right? Okay. So you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you all for joining. I'll see you next week. Good night.